where you're from.
My name is Catherine Fleming. I'm from Hanover County. I am a biomechanist by trade, but I'm the mother of a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. So my 7-year-old is in the public school system, and my 4-year-old will be soon. I heard each of the candidates identify important qualities that make a successful teacher, as well as unique challenges that the socioeconomically advantaged and disadvantaged face. If we were to go back to busing for diversity, socioeconomic diversity within the public school system, my question is, how would you propose that each teacher could design an educational program to address the widely varying needs of these two different student populations within the same classroom? Thank you.
Okay.
I have to correct one thing Mr. Hayes said. He said only the one school, Holly Shelter, was underpopulated. Actually, there's 302 empty seats at Holly Shelter, 294 empty seats at DC Virgo, and 63 empty seats at Williston. We have 3 schools seriously underpopulated of the middle schools. Now, to answer this question,
we do not have rebuttals.
that was a misstatement that needed to be corrected.
Apparently, we don't have rebuttals.
Back to the question. I think that one of the things that we are lacking is teaching our teachers how to handle diversity. And that one of the things that we would do in professional development of teachers is teach them how to handle the different kinds of learning styles, kids from different ethnic backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different racial backgrounds, different language backgrounds, all of that. That's part of being a good teacher, to be able to handle that. There are ways to teach that. There are very good programs in the United States that do that, and we should incorporate that in our training.
Mr. Thompson.
I think kids have more in common than they have in difference, even if they can't read. A good teacher, my mother started out teaching in a one-room schoolhouse where she worked with children that were 4 years old up through 18, and those children succeeded. There are certainly ways for a skilled teacher to work with children that are diverse, have different kind of lapses in their learning. One of the ways children learn best is from each other. So a child can sit beside a child and help somebody else learn, and that gives that child that's teaching tremendous sense of esteem. That helps that child say, I really can do something important. And the child who's learning probably learns better because they're learning in a way that is in a vernacular that they understand. So we must not ever doubt the power of a great teacher to work with a diverse population of students and bring those students all to true educational excellence.
Ms. Kavanaugh.
We try our best to make sure that we have employees who are sensitive to all students, who teach to all levels. I believe that we have schools that do have a wide variety of students now. And I think that we could, if we went back to socioeconomic busing, which God forbid we do, that it could be taken care of as far as teachers teaching properly.
Mr. Hayes.
I think basically the same thing, because as a former classroom teacher, that you would have varying ability levels within that classroom. The phrase that you currently hear so much of is differentiation within the class, whether it be advanced children in the class, middle level children, or those that would be considered below grade level, that within the classroom itself, with the training of the teachers, that should be able to be taken care of. Plus also, in some schools, I think they've had success, not with ability grouping, but what they call achievement grouping, where for certain classes such as math, science, or reading, you did that on certain achievement levels and then went back together as a group. So I think those are some of the ways that could be addressed.
Mr. Hickey.
You know, we do seem to have sort of a schizophrenic philosophy regarding education. On the one hand, we all see a value to diversity, myself included. On the other hand, we believe that there's a core body of knowledge which children are supposed to master, and that hence our end-of-the-year tests. I agree that an excellent teacher can address the needs of every student in the class, but we all know that there are some excellent teachers, some good teachers, some not so good teachers, and some poor teachers. Mr. Stein and I agree that K-3 education to teach children to learn is the most valuable predictor of success. If they can read by 3rd grade, they'll be successful. I believe it's more difficult in a socioeconomic busing scenario to target the interventions needed to specific populations. I believe that the underperforming schools can be targeted with increased reading instructors, increased math instructors, I do believe it's easier to target to populations where they exist.
Mr. Higgins.
Well, I'm going to be very brief. As I said when I made one of my opening statements, I believe that neighborhood schools allow us to address the needs of students that in a homogeneous manner. That is that we can have programs that meet those students where they are and take them forward. Good teachers will be able to do that, but they need to be able to have structured programs. They need to have small classes. And by identifying schools that we can have these smaller classes, we're able to reach those children and help them to progress. We now, in this school system, Dale Palsy-Beckton, who is an assistant superintendent, has helped develop a program to reach the students in these various schools. They have high priority schools, and they have programs for those schools that are designed strictly to help those kids succeed.
Ms. Hughley.
Well, I think even if you say a school or a group is homogeneous and they're all alike, you're still going to have a lot of differences. All of us have our strengths and weaknesses no matter which neighborhood we come from. So I think good teachers can deal with that and use it as an advantage. I think the real question, the basic question, comes down to, do you value diversity, or do you want our children to associate with a smaller and smaller and more narrow group of children and people? So it's basically, do you value diversity and do you learn from each other? Because I think that's a great learning opportunity.
Okay, Mr. Rhodes.
I agree with Ms. Hughley that it depends on if you value diversity. And the question was, how does a teacher teach at a different level? Teachers are trained today, at least they should be, to differentiate instructions because students learn in different learning styles, and they have to adjust to that. Homogeneous classrooms or homogeneous schools. The world is not a homogeneous place. The world is a very diverse place. And we need to be preparing our students to function in a 21st century economy. As Mr. Stein said earlier, we are no longer leaders in the world when it comes to educating our kids. That tells us that something is not working. We are looking backwards. We need to be able to find a quality education for every child. And we need to be looking at how to do that. Step outside of the box and look at the body of evidence or the body of research that tells us what contributes to learning and advanced achievement for our students.
Thank you, Candace.